Okay, so we've got this one sample input. Alright, so let's see. Our first option. Oh, let's just open our database. Doing the home decor. Alright. So firstly, we want to add a new salesperson, John, with that telephone number. So in our database, in our salesperson, so we want salesperson with a number. You'll see we don't have his ID. But let's see what happens. And then, what is this thing? Okay, so this is one option. Insert into table sales, value that. Let's click this thing. And then you'll see there's a syntax error in the insert into statement. Let's see somebody, okay, that's already number 2. Alright, so who wants to assist me or can sort of see what went wrong here already? What can you see is not as it should be?
So should we first declare where we're going to be inserting the new values?
Yeah, so what you can do, so this is okay. How it works is you'll say insert into, that's the correct insert statement, and then you say the table you want to insert it into. So TBL salespeople, TBL salespeople, yeah. And then what comes after that? What should this be?
I think
Only
that
while
SP
listening.
name.
No, shouldn't be while. Sanile, say again.
I think it's open bracket and SP name.
Okay, so it's insert into your table name, and then you use the word values. And then these ones must depend on the data type. I think all 3 of them are string. Let's just go see again. Now text. Oh, the first one's a number. Sales ID is a number. So what happened here was 16 is empty. So that's why. So this option we've got here is they wanted to put 16 as the number. And that should work. Let's see what happens here if we click this. Change unsuccessful because you created duplicate values.
I got that error.
Oh, so because it was added, that's why. Now let's see if we did not include the 16. Then you'll see number of query values and destination fields are not the same, because when you say insert into the table name values and then you list the values, but in the table itself we've got 3 columns, while the values we want to insert is only 2. What you'll have to do, insert into table salespeople. After that, you in brackets you can list the fields that you want to insert. So we want to insert a SP name and a SP phone. So
That's what I was trying to say, sir.
oh, sorry. Oh, is that okay? Sorry. Yes. So SP name and now SP phone with those 2 values. And then you'll see, so this error we'll always get. You'll see your query is working, but the command text does not return a result set. So let's go see what happened here. So if you close this one, if you open it again, then you'll see number 19 is John. So now it will carry on adding on. Every time you run this query, it will add John to your table. And because this one here, the only reason why this works is because when this table was created, this is an auto number. So it automatically generates a number for each new person you add. If this wasn't an auto number, it wouldn't work. No, you can't. Because yeah, you should get an error if you say is null. Null is basically nothing. and you can't have a primary key. Remember last year when we discussed in each table you get the primary key, and the primary key uniquely identifies each record. Now the thing also with the primary key is okay, they didn't say it there now, but a primary key, it's one of the settings are that it must be entered. You can't leave it open. You can't not enter a primary key. Primary key must be unique and it must have a value. Alright, so let's quickly see what we did with this one. Did I close the thing? Oh, no, man. Let's just open this thing again. Oh no, I closed it. Alright, but let's quickly fix this. So it was insert into salespeople, and then we listed the fields, which was SP name and SP phone, and then we inserted values, and we didn't have the first one. But John is text, so it needs to be in quotes, and the cell phone number is text, so it needs to be in quotes. So that's how your first one should look. So it's always insert into the table name, and then if you do not have all the field values, you have to list the values that you do have, or the field names of the values you've got. So we're going to have name and we're going to have phone number. Then you say the word values, and then inside brackets you assign the values to those specific ones in this order. So name was first, so you have to give the name first, and then the phone, so then you put the phone number. Okay, any questions around that? Okay, sounds good. The next one. Now we want to add Sam as a new salesperson. Let's see, I think somebody had an answer here for us. Okay, this one here. So I'm going to ask for somebody here. Will this work? Will this not work? What needs to change if it will not work?
So I think the same thing similar to the first thing needs to change, where I think we should remove 17 or 16 and then add before value add a bracket which states which column we'll be adding Sam into.
Okay, which will be what?
Which will be SP name.
Alright, and what do we do here at the back? We take out the 17.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, let's run this one. Query is working, no results found. Let's just go check if it worked. To close that one, we open this one, and there we get Sam. Okay, for some reason it does it twice every time. I'm not sure, we'll see why it does that. Okay, but don't worry, yes, so this is correct. So let's take this one. Okay, so this is the next one. Add a new interior item, wooden bookcase, costing 3,000. Okay, who can give us an answer for that one? Number 3. So Sandir said he's going to be a bit quiet today, so we're going to need the rest to step up a bit.
Moet ik vraag 3 aan te drukken post.
Ja, wat as jy wil. But I would prefer if the rest, if you sort of can get your answers ready and give us some of the next ones then. Even if there's more than one of the same one, it's also good. Alright, let's use number 3. So let's take 3, let's look at this and let's give me comments. What do you think with this one? Insert into TBL items, value, 24, wooden bookcase, interior, 3,000. Okay, let's see, there's another option here. Alright, so with this one, before I post the other one that looks a bit closer to the truth, what problems can we see with this one?
So once again, we didn't really specify which columns you're going to be adding into.
Yes, so what he did was, he again just gave it his own number, but which you're not allowed because we're not sure which value it will take up. So, but
Sir,
yes,
if auto number is not enabled, then must you give it an own value?
yes, if auto number is not enabled, then you give it your own one, but then majority of the time we'll actually tell you what it is. But yes, then you can give it your own one. And then can you see again with this one, it's only value. You must remember the S, values. Alright, so let's look. And another, is there anything wrong with this last value?
It needs to be a value, not a string.
Okay, so how does that change?
So don't you remove the
And
question?
hashtags. You put hashtags at the beginning and end.
No, so not hashtags, but just nothing. Okay, so
Eh,
Oh, my bad.
yeah, so Jeez. There. Alright, so we're gonna insert into the table. Then we list, we're gonna have the item description, we've got the item category, and we've got the item cost price. Then we say values. The item description is wooden bookcase and it's inside quotes because it's text. Item category is interior, it's inside quotes because it's text. And then our cost price is 3000 without anything because it's a number. When we add a date, we'll add the hashes. So in front of a date you add hashes, in front of text you add the quotes, and with either integers or doubles or booleans, you just place it there. You don't need to put any quotes or anything. It's just as is. And then this one should work, I think. Let's see. Query is working. Okay, this is now. We put that into the items, and there you'll see a wood case. Did all of yours also happen twice when you did yours? Or is it just me?
Mine was twice.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool. Yeah, of course, probably if it didn't happen, most probably there was a mistake somewhere inside. It should happen at least once. Okay, let's see. Number 4. Let's see. Number 4. Okay, Bongi gave us number. Let's quickly read the question. Client with ID 5 is now being helped by the salesperson with ID 5. So when you look at our answers, we've got 2 here. Actually, we've got update table clients, set the salesperson ID to 5, where the client ID is 5. That one, and then here you'll see update TBR clients, set the salesperson ID to 5, where client ID is 5. Yes. I'm just going to take this one because it's nice capital letters. I don't know what happened to the fonts here. Alright, so we copy that. Let's just try it in here. Run it, and it's working. And then if we just look in our database by our clients, number 5 is being helped by number 5. Alright, so we're good. Now let's look at number 5. Okay, before we go on with that, okay, so the insert one, I went nicely through. It's always insert into your table name. Then you list your field names. Then you say values, and then you give the values. With our update, so the main thing to remember, the difference between the first 3, the next 3 and the next 3 is with the first 3 we add a whole new record. So a whole new line is added when you insert. So if we add a client, it will go to number 71. So there will be one extra line. Whenever you do insert into, it adds a whole new record. While with the next ones we're doing now, the update ones, with an update, it doesn't add one. You just change the values of one of the records that's already here. So a line that's already here you can change using an update. And then our remove, which is the delete, you remove a whole line, a whole record. So a whole record is removed from the table itself. So let's look at how that update looks. So you say update your table name, then set. After set you say the field name and what it should become. So this is the piece of the one that you are changing. So we are changing the salesperson ID to 5, and then after the where, that is if you want to decide which record to change. So I'm going to change the record where the client ID is 5, and I'm going to change his salesperson ID to 5 in this table. So update the table name, then set and the field you want to change with its new value, then where, and then like the which record field is equal to what value. So this decides which records you're going to change, and this tells you what are you going to change it to. The sequence of this is fixed. You cannot swap them around. You can't do update that where client ID and then set. It must always be update the table, set field equals value, where field equals value. Alright, let's look at 5. Number 5, we've got one here. I just want to see how many we interpret file. We answered those ones. Okay, so number 5, the question was, all the interior items cost must be increased by 5%. So we're going to update the table sales people. Okay, this is a different one. This is number 6. Okay. Let's see if this is. Okay, everybody skipped 5. I think because Iman mistyped. Maybe somebody can do 5 for us. What course you did here, that's actually 6. That's actually 6. Okay, let's quickly see. Alright. Okay, let's see what we've got. 2 options to look at here. So we're gonna update the table items, and then this our set is forgotten here. So set our item cost to become whatever the item cost price was times 1.05, where the item category is equal to interior. That looks good. So Iman, just remember you have to say your set part, and with this bottom piece you have to say where your field equals value. So you have to say where item category equals interior. Now inside here Bongi made a calculation. So this calculation you could have done in a variety of different ways. I don't know if everybody did it this way, but yeah, so we go update the table, set the field we want to change to become whatever it was times that. So you could have done it that way, or you could have added the item cost price times 5 divided by 100, or times 0.05. So however you realized how you can add 5% to what it was and then give that to the new price. I'm gonna stick with Pongi's way of doing it. Let's quickly just test it out. So update table items, set cost price to whatever the cost price was, times 1.5. And I think then there was the where the item category is interior and it's inside quotes because item category is text. Okay, they said it's working. Interior ones, let's see, this one was 2557.8. Oh, it updated. Remember, it was 2557, and then all this happens. But now you can see our decimal places are being a bit mixed up now. So this is not ideal. Okay, but we answered the question, so this is 100% fine. Then, so that was that one. So we're updating that table, setting the cost price to whatever the cost price was, times 1,05. That's adding 5% to the original price, where the item category is interior. Next one, they want us insert Sam's telephone number. That. Now I specifically answered or asked this question like this because I said insert. So I don't know if any of you actually did an insert into statement here by number 6. If you did, you are wrong. Because the problem with this is, oh, Sam was a salesperson. So, because the problem is, Sam is already there, so we've already got the record. We just want to change the telephone number, which is blank, to a number actually. So, let's see what this person did. So, copy, and then this program. Okay, so we want to update the table salespeople. We want to set the SP phone to that, where the SP name, like Sam, I didn't copy completely. Okay, can anybody see a mistake? And if you can see a mistake, what's wrong here?
The phone number,
What's wrong with the phone number?
it's an actual value.
be
It needs to be in quotes.
Yes, well done. So the thing with this is, remember our SP phone, if you go look at the data type as well, the phone number is type text. Whenever it's text, that means it must be inside quotes. Is this like correct or not? Okay, and so to answer that question, this is fine. If you put a equals there, that is also fine. So the equals and the like are the same. The only difference is when you use like, you can add those percentages and stuff. So if you want something where Sam is anywhere inside the word or whatever. But if you just use like, it's 100% fine as well. So we did that. So now if we close the salesperson, so we open them again, there you can see telephone number added by Sam. Right. So only thing here, telephone number, because it's text here, it must be in quotes there. Right. There, number 7. Yes.
For number 6, what happens when you say it must add something to something that doesn't exist? Let's say Sam wasn't there.
Then it will just actually not do anything.
It won't crash.
No, it won't. Let's say Sammy. Okay. See, so you'll see there, it's still working. It just doesn't return a result. And then when we look what happened here, Just nothing changed. Because the statement worked 100% correct. It updated the salespeople table. It changed the phone number to that random letters of everybody whose name is Sammy. So it looked for all the Sammys and changed their telephone number to this, which it did too, even though there's no telephone numbers. Ach, no Sammys. So Iman asks, which one do I prefer between like and equals? So the question is actually correct in the sense, which one do I prefer? Because if you used equals or like, you'll still get 100%. And even if you go to a company one day, whichever one you use works 100%. It really doesn't matter at all which one you use. Personal preferences for myself, I like to use equals just because we want exactly Sam. We don't want to use the wildcards. So then I would prefer not to use the equals, and only when you want to use the wildcard, the percentages, then you use the like. But it's really personal preference. It really doesn't matter at all. Processing wise doesn't matter. So it's literally however you want to best remember it. You're gonna get some people maybe in exam time where you're gonna, let's say you wanted always where where the word or the name started with Sam. So you wanted the wildcard. Some people will go and put the equals there with this, and then they'll lose a mark because this won't work. So if you want to learn that for text you will always use like, then you may be better off, because like will always work. Like will work with the wildcard and without. So this will give you exactly the word Sam only. So yes, personal preference, like is maybe the safer one because it will always work. But yeah, like is 4 keys to press, where equals is just 1 key to press, so you're saving some milliseconds. But yeah, 100% however you feel it's best for you. Okay, that's nice. 6. We did 6, eh? So number 7. Okay, let's look at this one. So now next one, number 7. All the clients of salesperson with ID 10 will now be held by the person with ID 12. So let's see. So we're updating the table clients, and we're setting the salesperson ID to 12, where the salesperson ID was 10. So let's see if that's what the question was. All the clients of salesperson with ID 10 will now be helped by salesperson with ID 12. So this is 100%. So I'm going to take this one, copy this. Let's just go look quickly in the clients. Then number 2 is done by 10. So we want to update the table clients. We want to change the salesperson ID to 12 if the salesperson ID was 10. So we click this, they say it's working. Close that, we just come here, and then you'll see there Arlie is now 12. And then you should, when you go through the whole thing, there should not be 10s anyway, it's only 12s. Alright, that's 100%. Okay, so that's all our updates. Now the next 3 are removes, so they are deletes. So let's see if we've got an answer. This we're busy with now, question 8. Okay, here's a question here. Let's try this one. Alright, so we want to delete from table salespeople where the salesperson name is Boipelu. So let's see, remove Boipelu from the sales team. Yes, so we want to, in this one, we want to look at the SP name and we want to look for Boipelu, number 10. Alright, so let's try this. So we copy that, put it in here. Quotes. Remember, try to use double quotes if at all possible. And then let's run this thing 100%. And now if we go to our table, okay, delete it. So it says deleted now because I didn't close it, but you'll see if you close that one and open it, number 10 is just gone. Boipelu is gone. Question. Okay, I answered all the questions. Alright, so that's
Sir?
how. Yes.
Auto number won't change the 11 to 10.
No. No, what? Because it assigned. Imagine now we had to like for you guys, you know, with you guys in the school, you've got like a admission number. We can't now, when somebody leaves, every following person, their admission number changes now to one less just because that person left. It will just confuse. Or imagine like comrades runners. You know, when they register, they actually get a number, and that's like their number inside the registration process. But now if somebody decides no, or they phone the people and say no, remove me from the registration list, and now they change everybody's racing number, you're gonna make some people very angry, because there's some comrades runners that's sort of like they know their number off by heart. They know that is their number. So it's the same thing with this one. Boipelu, a salesperson 10, and Azaria was 11, and she's now already used to her ID is 11 inside the company. So what they'll rather do is when a new person arrives, they might give them one of those numbers, like 1 or 10, which is now missing. But no, so auto number does not adjust them. It doesn't keep track of the, I want to say, the count of the people in there. It just assigns, whenever a new person comes, the following number in the sequence. Alright, let's quickly see. So how delete works, you immediately go delete from, and then the table name. So this delete from, and actually go caps. So it's immediately delete from that, and then where salesperson equals Boipelu. This tells you which records it's gonna delete. If you do this, if you try to irritate yourself, and you just run this, it will delete everybody from the salespeople table. So if you put it in there and you run it and you go back here and you click, and then you'll see everything will be empty here. Then you won't have any values. Then you'll have to get the values again from somewhere. Alright. Okay, next one, number 9. Let's see what I've got here. I think I saw some answers for 9. Here's the answer to 9. Again with this one, we're just missing our capital letters. So delete from that table, and then where. Alright, let's see. Remove all the items that cost more than 10,000 Rand. So you delete from table items. So you don't need to say that. You just go the table you're using. So you just delete from table items where the item cost price is more than 10,000. So this is 100%. Should be. Let's just check. Let's see, where's my database? Let's just see what should disappear. More than 10,000. Okay, this one here. So number 8 should be gone. So we run this thing. A record cannot be deleted due to change cost table. Table invoices includes related records. Okay, so we did it 100%. I will show you just now why this happened. But yes, this answer is fine. So to see why this didn't work is later this year I'll also show you how when we create our databases for our pet, later on after we're happy with that, we're gonna do relationships between the tables. And here you can see my item table is linked with the invoices table. So there's a link created there. So now what happened was we tried to delete this number 8, but in the invoices table, by item ID, item number 8 was bought by some people. So we can't now, if you think of the company itself, we can't go and remove this item now from our register. Because then if somebody comes and they want to look at the invoices and then they say, oh, I see client number 20 bought one of item 8, and then they ask you, okay, so what did this guy buy? And when you go to items, then you see, oh, but there is no 8. Then you've got no idea what he actually bought. So because of that link to this table, we can't go and remove the 8s now. So, yeah. Alright. But the statement itself is correct. Alright, then remove all invoices for May. Let's see who did 10 for us. Yeah, we've got one from Bongi. No, but you didn't answer mine. What did you say, Sandir? Sorry, what did I miss? Oh, so for question 4, could a distinct be used in the case it wasn't a primary key? Distinct is only with select where you use distinct. So, no, the thing is you can't use the distinct. Which was question 4? I can't remember. Question 4. Oh, the update one. Because even if you use distinct, how will the computer actually know which one to update and which ones not to update? So you have to be very specific in what you want to update. So those of you that sort of a bit lost with Sandir's question, I think what happened with this one was client ID 5 appeared lots of times. So, no wait, in this case it wouldn't have. But let's say client ID 5 appeared lots of times. This one will change all client ID 5s, all of their salesperson IDs to also 5. But you can't use distinct here because the computer won't know specifically which one. You'll have to then probably add another field, and or something. Okay, yes. Okay, so Sandir said, what if client ID wasn't a primary key? So it wasn't unique. There's a lot of client ID 5s. So let's just see quickly. Let's say, like we said, let's say we want to update Mr. Lou's salesperson ID, and there might be multiple Mr. Lou's. That could happen. But now, unfortunately, there's no way to say distinct, because how will the computer know it should update this one but not that one? So, if that was the case, then you'll have to add another criteria to select a specific one. For you, for tests and exams, you don't need to worry about this. We will give you specific information. You just do exactly what we ask. If we say 5 and there's multiple 5s, then we actually meant it to happen with all of them. But when you start thinking about your pet, and this about your pet, you'll have to think if you want it to happen to all of them, or you'll have to change your own criteria to make it more unique. Okay. Okay, Sandir, you're good with my answer. Okay, cool. Alright, then number 10. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we want to delete. What's missing here, people?
From.
Yes. Always delete from. Delete from table invoices where the month of the invoice date is equal to 5. Now, if you want to do the 05, you're more than welcome to do that. If you do equals 5, that's also 100% correct. Because remember, this is just a number. It's an integer. So it's sort of like in maths. If you use 05 or you just use 5, same thing. There's no difference. So let's quickly see what happens here. Control copy. Yes, you can. So remember, just like we did with the selects last time, you can go where invoice date, like, and then you can use your quotes with your percentage, and then just remember your /05/. Because we explained you can't just use the 5 because then it might also include the 2015 or on the 5th day of December or whatever. So you have to have the 05 and you have to have the slashes before and after, and then your percentages on the outside of that. Okay, then this one, let's just see invoices of May. Let's just see so we can see what should happen. So invoices, let's go to the top again. Okay, so the second one from the top is in May, where it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is of May. So let's see when we run this thing. Okay, they say it's working. Let's go back. And let's just close invoices and we open invoices again. And then you'll see 1, 2, 3 is gone. So the May one is gone. And now if you go through here and you look at the months, nowhere you should see a 5 in the middle. And if you can quickly see like what I've done, there's no 5s left. Alright. So that sort of also shows Sandir your question just again. So you can't use a distinct here now to only delete certain ones. Because the month of invoice date, the 5, is not a primary key. That means there's multiple records applying to this, but that means this one will delete all of them. You can't make it selective. Right, then let's see how 11 looks. Now some selects just to see how it's going, just a bit more higher order selects. Show all the mail clients who are being helped by salesperson with ID 5. Okay, of course he gave us one. So those of you that did 12 to 15, you can also post that. I could see the 1 to 9 people you posted lots of answers. You don't need to become quiet now. You can still carry on with the rest. I know it's a bit more challenging, but that's the whole idea behind it. I think we must work through this, and it's nice to see when there's mistakes, because then we can learn from this thing. Alright, so we want to show all. As soon as we want to show, that means select. Show all the mail clients who's... So in this specific one, I didn't ask which fields I wanted to see. So this person that gave us the answers showed us only the client names, which is fine. I didn't indicate what I wanted to see. So if you selected the client name, that's fine. If you used the star, that's also fine. Either or, it doesn't matter because my question was vague. Let's stick with this one. So we want to see the client name from table clients, where the client name is like, and then it starts with the MR and then percentage. So show all the male clients who are being helped by salesperson with ID 5. And the salesperson ID is 5. Okay, so who's got comments on this answer here? Would it work fine, or can you foresee a problem? Oh, okay, well, Umanati went the other way, where he went not like Mrs. MRS. Yes, and I think, okay, Iman, yours could also work. Yes, I like Annika's one. The main difference, those of you that didn't see, was just to add the space afterwards. Because remember, MRS for Mrs. is same thing as MR with a percentage. So your best option was to add the space as well. So this is one, but I actually, let me just look at the answers. Was there MS as well? For Miss. Okay, there wasn't a miss. Okay, there wasn't a miss. So then, this other answer I also like actually. Where is this one? This one. So this is also not a bad option, where you select the client name from table clients, where client name I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay, let's quickly try this one. Let's see the error we get. Let's paste it there. run this thing. Oh, it works fine. Is there only 2 misters? Yeah, for client 85. Okay, so it works fine. So select the client name from table clients where the client name is not like Mrs. and the salesperson ID is 5. So you could say the not for if you wanted not the Mrs. But I think when we do this one, we'll get the same answer. Same answer. Okay, so either or, both is good answers. The only problem with this bottom one is if there was also a MS. You know, when my English wasn't good, but I learned recently that MS is for, I think, an unmarried female. So, then number 12. Show all the wall units that cost between 6,000 and 8,000. Let's see who's got an answer for us here. Nobody yet. Come people, where's all our answers? Post them for us. We want 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's see. Dewald, post bietjie vir ons ietsie. Romano Klopaya. Maybe Kosi, you can also post something for us. That would be good. Trent, Tertian. So quiet. Stefan, kom. Post vir ons bietjie. Umanati, post some answers for us. Okay, so I'm just recording this again. So, show all wall units. So, show tells us select. Again, with this one, I didn't say what I wanted to see. So, select star is 100% fine. From table items. So, select the fields from the table we're using. And then, where the item description, like, and then wall unit inside quotes. So, that covers our wall units. That's very good. That cost between 6,000 and 8,000. So, and our item cost price must be between 6,000 and 8,000. Okay, this looks good. So try this one. There's a variety of ways you could have done this one. Process that one, and that is our wall unit Umboya one, which cost there. Let's just see. Items between 6 and 8. Yeah, this one. All the rest is more or less, yeah. Right. So with this specific one, you could have also used, and the price is greater than 6,000, and the item cost price is less than 8,000. So you can use the between, but you can also just have used the and with a greater than and smaller than. So however you want to, but this is a nice elegant solution. So I like that one. 13. Let's see, was there any questions? No. Okay, 14, the people just randomly, or is this actually, okay, well there is a format here. Let's just see the average question. Okay, yeah, so I think it was 13. There's also one there. Okay, let's see how this one goes. A group by. Okay, I'm gonna use Bongi's one. Let's go. So I didn't go for this one immediately because it doesn't have the format. Okay, let's just go with this one for now. Oh wait, what did I skip? Okay, alright, so let's look. I want to show, once you see show, you note select, and we want the average price of all system items for my 2 currency. So we're gonna need the average item cost price. So already you must know you're gonna go select. Okay, let's copy this thing. So I want to say, when you start a question like this, before you do the format, even if you just do that part first, just get your average cost price from that table where the item description like system, because they asked us here, show the average price for all system items. So if you look at this, if you look at the items, where do we see the system part? And you'll see there it's like the last word, so it's inside. So who can help me? What should we fix still here? Except now for the formatting. You can give me some guidance. Yes. Okay, so Annika's one would work fine. I like Keanu's one a bit more, just because the question sort of left it open for to all system items. So they didn't necessarily say system needs to be at the end. So I would prefer the percentage in front and back. But then what else? What did I tell you last time? Whenever we do average, what do we need? Whenever we do an aggregate function, what do we need?
As.
Yes. So, and remember in this case, I didn't say what I wanted to call it. So that means you can call it anything you want to. So call it as average maybe, or whatever you wanted to call it. And then if you click this, then just click on the inside, then you just go left to see. So 7955 comma something. So it looks sort of correct roundabout. So get this first part right. Select, and then we want the item, the average of the item cost price. Because it's an average, we use our as. From this table, where the item description like, and then system inside quotes with the percentage, because we wanted all system items. Now we can go back and try our format. So once that is sorted, also when I ask you to round, also do round afterwards. Do all this, get this right, and then you'll come back to the round. But in this question, I specifically asked to format. So then we go format. Okay, let's just see, Bongi said comma C. Format that, and then so it's still before the C. But on the inside, so you've got your average item cost price still there. So you say format open bracket, that thing. And then Bongi said C. Let's see what happens. If we run this thing now. Okay, C is not working. So did somebody get an answer for us? Yeah, how can we format this thing correctly? C inside quotes. Iman tried. Let's see if we put the C inside quotes. Okay, then we get time. Okay, so that doesn't look good. What can we make? How can we format this thing? Any ideas? No ideas. If we set currency and booyah. So it's literally as easy as that, where you just say select format open bracket, whatever you want to format. So even if there was a calculation or anything, you'll do that there. And then you say comma, and then you use the word currency inside quotes, and that will format it to currency for you. As your field name from that table, where field like system. So those of you that are struggling a bit with this and realize, oh, you got everything wrong and wara, it really doesn't matter. It is new things. I'm asking you new things the whole time to try and work it out. So please don't be come on. Oh, what's happening to that font? Let's see. Alright, so don't worry, it's supposed to be difficult. These ones are like the most difficult ones you can get. So, yeah. But that's why we're practicing it. I want to show it to you. And then, what I'll do then, tomorrow I'll give you again some more questions on a new database to just try again. And then we'll start over again with easier ones, but then I'll maybe combine everything. A little bit of everything, starting from easy ones to more difficult again. Alright, let's look at the last two. Show the average price of interior and exterior items separately. So what I want there, the average price, so I basically want to see what is the average price for interior items and what is the average price for exterior items. So I gave you just a hint there that you can use the group by function to make that happen. So let's see. Don't want to use that one. What I want to see, the average price. Okay, so let's use this one again. Let's use humans one. Alright, so okay, this one didn't ask for format, but because it's prices, if you format, that's fine. And we just realized now this must be currency. So we select, and we want to get the average cost price. We want to format it as currency, and because we do that average, what do we need again? For aggregate functions, what do we need?
As.
As. And again, you can call it whatever you want to. So just call it average again. So we want to get the average cost price, format it to currency. We want to call it average from table items, and then we're gonna group it by the item category. So basically what this does, it groups all the values according to the category and then work out the average from there. So let's quickly see what this will do for us. Okay, just the single quotes again, try to use double quotes if possible. And there you'll get your average. Now, the only problem with this is you'll think, but I answered exactly what the question said and it's working. But you will actually lose marks for this. Because if you look at the output here, tell me which value is the interior and which one is the exterior. We don't actually know. So whenever they ask you a question like this, when they want you to show the price, they only ask for the price. But of interior and exterior items separately, you must always also add the thing you want to group it by. Also display that. So the one you want to group it by, you just want to include that to the front. Item category. So you're going to say, select the item category, comma, and then the average cost price formatted to currency as that from that table where that. Now if we run it, you can accept that it's now very long. What? How long is this thing? Okay, but in any case, so you'll see the item category exterior, top, interior there, and then you'll see your answers next to it. Okay, this output is just it's not our mistake. Just the fields are a bit dodgy. But yes, so whatever you group it by, you also include in your select part. Alright, last one. How many clients does Kate have? So in this one we're going to use both tables. So let's see. So we want to see how many clients does Kate have. So what we need to do, if we go to the clients, you'll see we can't see the salesperson's name here. We've only got the IDs here. So when we go to salespeople, here we can see yes, Kate, he's number 12. So do you agree, if I asked you to do this manually, you'll come to the salespeople, you'll look where's Kate, you'll find Kate, you look at what is his salesperson ID, then you'll go to the clients and go count how many salesperson IDs are there of 12 and add them. Let's see, 1, 2 and so forth. So step 1, you'll go to the salesperson table, you'll look for the name. Once you found the name, you look for his ID, then you'll go to the clients table, look at the IDs which are equal to that number and count how many of them are there. Everybody good with me?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Okay, then let's just see. This one we're gonna need to adjust a bit, but we can fix this one. So let's how we can fix this one. Let me just see what else arrived here. No, okay, that one's top part's not good. Bottom part, this looks much better, but I'm gonna stick with the one we've got. So how many clients does Kate have? So at the end, what do we want to see? What do you want to, if I ask you, how many clients does Kate have? What will you basically tell me? Don't think of like specific answer now, just sort of like give me like what data type of answer and how many values would you give me? You'll get a number and you'll give me one number.
Value,
Yes. So you'll basically tell me there's 5 or whatever. And then, so Sandir was close. He said, wouldn't we use sum? And that's where human is a bit closer for us. We'll actually use the count function. Remember, count tells us how many. Sum adds together. So we don't want to add all the 12s together, but we want to count how many 12s are there. So count is our correct function. So we want to select count. And those of you that remember from last time, I told you with count, it doesn't matter which field we're counting. So you can count star, or you can count a specific field name, or you can count the SP ID, or you can count the client ID. Doesn't matter what you count. You can count the client names, whatever you want to. But we want to count something. And then, what did I tell you again? When we've got an aggregate function, what do we need?
As.
So then we just have to give it a name. So, amount. So, we want to count as amount. Then, from which table? Which tables are we going to use? Do you agree? We need to use the sales people because we need to go look for Kate. But we also need the clients table. So we need both of these tables. Table clients and table salespeople. So we need to... Wait, let me do it in here. Right. Alright, let's look at this thing now. So we want to select count as amount from table clients, but we also want to use table sales people. So because in this select statement, remember I saw some of you, I think Heman was one of them, he had 2 selects, yeah. Okay, we can't have 2 selects, and we can't have 2 wheres. So remember what I told you last time as well, you'll always at any given time for every question only have 1 select, 1 from, 1 where. So in this case, like when you wanted to use 2 tables, you'll select that from the one table comma the other table. So now it means we're going to use both tables. And then where, oh, you went inside here. So we won't do another select. For just, I want to say, to give you the right answer, you can have a select inside a select. You can do this. You might want to do it for your pet, maybe, but I'll help you. If you get, you'll tell me like what you want to do, and I'll give you guidance as to how to do it. And it might be that you need a select inside a select. But for now, for your grade 12, this is outside of syllabus. You will never need to do a select inside a select. so you don't need to worry about that. And remember, we don't know what the salesperson ID is for now. So, but let's just take out that. Now where to where's? Alright, but the one part, okay, let's take out that part. So we were sort of happy with this part where we want to count, we want to call it amount from both tables, and we want to look where the salesperson name is keyed. So we're happy with that part. But now the only other thing we need to do is we need to see what did we leave out now. So we've got both tables. We said we're going to count everything, and we want to say, and we said when the salesperson name is keyed. But remember when I explained this to you, the other thing I did, I told you let's look for the salesperson ID from this table and to see where is it equal to the salesperson ID in this table. So that's the only other piece we must add. So where the salesperson name is keyed, but now the field here is called SPID and the field here is also called SPID. So initially you would think we want to say where my SPID is equal to my SPID. But now in this case, remember the computer doesn't know which tables are you talking about now because the field is exactly the same name. So we just needed to specify. It doesn't matter which way around. So you can say where my table sales people dot. So where my table salespeople's ID is equal to my table clients ID. And let's quickly see this. And then they'll just say 6. I think if you go count there should be 6. So let's just quickly run through this again. It sounds a bit more complex than it actually is. When you read the question you think, oh, it might be difficult or whatever. But if you just look nicely, we just break it down into the smaller parts where we want to see how many clients does Kate have. So that meant we knew we wanted to count. So we select count. Count doesn't matter which field we count as amount from table clients. But then we realize, but we want to see for Kate. That we can only see in the table salespeople. So that means we also need to have the table salespeople. And we want to look for Kate, where the salesperson name is Kate. But now we must realize, because we're using two tables, we have to link them. And your link will always be the primary key of the one table with a foreign key of the other table. So if you look at this one, with our salespeople, this is the primary key. And this key is used in this table, in this field. So you will just say where this field is equal to this field. But because they had the same name, we just had to specify which tables are we working with. So we needed to say our table salespeople's SPID must be equal to our table clients.SPID. And that would have given you a correct answer. Okay, let's see. Okay, all that. Alright. Any questions that anybody maybe thought of while we were doing this? Or some clarification needed on any specific one of the answers?